If you want to learn more how to trade, so how to read charts, paano malaman ang rotation, you are invited to join our masterclass natin on Wise Investors PH. We will run an 8-week session coming from basics to advanced session and the techniques that we have personally developed and long-term investing principles behind.
Hello guys, magandang gabi po. Welcome to Wise Investors PH and my name is John. So I'm one I'm one of the traders that you can come up with. So we're gonna talk about a lot about investing and at the same time trading here live on Facebook and YouTube. And my goal here is to release learn as well with you, together with you and trade with you as well. So magkasama tayo sa hirap at ginhawa, guys. So let me check my audio kung if it's working or medyo ano, tingnan na. Let me check my audio if it's working. Baka nagsasalita na naman ako ng hindi ko naririnig yung sarili ko. Ayan, anyway, yan. Okay na. All right, so welcome again. Thank you so much for tuning in here. It's Wednesday. It's May 25, 9:04 in the evening. We are 30 minutes before the market opens, of course. And yesterday was really bloody market. And actually mixed market, no? Mixed market yung kahapon. And it's not that expected, but because of the recent changes that we're gonna have tomorrow. What about tomorrow? It's gonna be what about tomorrow? It will be 26. Okay, the market will react, of course, dramatically because of these changes. So what is that changes? Of course, the GDP and the FMOC Fed announcement later as well. So the market is nag-a-adjust si market and the market is actually a very very emotional market, especially this year has been challenging to a lot of investors, but exciting as well to those who want to bought more, who wants to buy more, who wants to actually bought more. And not just that, even for traders, honestly, it's a challenge for traders like me and you that to really earn on this market. But remember, the harder we are, and we are profitable, meaning we are doing something effective. And not just that as well, no? Let me give you an impartation this evening, tonight, that this bear market, this correction is actually an opportunity for us to train, for opportunity to us to adapt and to change the market condition. It's because if it's a bull market, everyone is genius, everyone is so good. Wala kang makikita if wala kang makikita nagpo-post during bull market na grabe yung port niya when it comes to trading and investing. If someone is na grabe yung profit niya, okay, meaning is really profitable. And that's what we're gonna talk about. And the topic for tonight's top topic is purchase ni Warren Buffett and what we can learn from him, of his current purchase recently in last May 18, I guess, and then what we can learn from it as an investor, And I'm also comment on my personal opinion regarding traders as well. So before we go there, of course, let me request everyone to share also this live, and also comment or like regarding the stocks that you want to check as well. So we're gonna check the index on the first few minutes of this session, and then we're gonna talk about crypto and the stock that we can trade if there's an opportunity to trade as well. So good evening, Sen. Good evening also, Lirad. Magandang gabi dyan. Thank you so much for tuning on YouTube as well. Thank you for letting me know that my audio is working fine. All right, so let's check directly to the topic tonight. Before we go there, syempre gusto ko lang makita initially, no, the market is actually playing around the bear market territory. If you notice, we are in the brink of the territory, bear market territory. It's Tuesday, this Wednesday evening, playing around the bear market territory because may news nga about GDP. And yun nga, pag bumaba yan on the bear market territory, everything will change. The sentiment will change. No? Mas malakas ang mga sellers than the buyers. But if you notice, on the last few days of the trading session, every time it went below there, at the last hour or the last few hours of a trading session in New York, it was pushed up. It was actually been pushed up by investors. Honestly, because why? Because it's actually for those who really understand and prepared of the market psychology. Dapat nga ngayon mas ngayon ka namimili. Because if you're buying on a reversal and it's actually on a bull trend, you're just trend following. But if you really wanted to earn a lot during this season, mas maganda inuupuan lang yan. Bumibili ka na mas mamura sila. And you are actually, kumbaga your goal is to buy more when this opportunity comes. And that's what we're going to talk about. If you're going to search about Warren Buffett's big bet on Citigroup, it was his recent purchase. Okay, it was recent purchase that the shares of Citigroup jumped last May 18 because Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, reported $3 billion in this bank. And it was also mentioned that Citigroup shares were really down this year by around 16%, trailing other big banks. But it's the middle of turnaround by CEO, took the opportunity, mounts plans, no, that even the sector is down. Warren Buffett has been very busy so far in addition to purchase to this stock and concentration of Citibank and Bank of America and some banks that he has already. So if you notice as well in terms of total return, Citibank in total return versus the SPX 500, it was not even performing against the market, which is the orange line, no? It was the orange line here. Hindi pa nga siya, but because Warren Buffett purchased 3 billion of Citigroup, umangat. Okay? If we're gonna drill down it further, of course, ano ba ang current portfolio ngayon ni Warren Buffett? Let's check it out as well. Let me pull in my screenshot here. Tingnan natin and how he diversified as well. So if you notice, Warren Buffett has a very diverse portfolio, which is the biggest portfolio of the biggest shares of his portfolio is from Apple. If you notice as well that he doesn't have a retail like Amazon because he missed buying Amazon during the period it's actually starting. Then he purchased Apple as that. And if you notice as well, is has a very huge stake at Coca-Cola and Bank of America. And the rest are just 1%, 1.3% of some airlines, some consumers, and a lot of banks on his portfolio. And the rest are insignificant or the others. So this is his then once purchase on that, bumili siya ngayon ng Citigroup at this correction period. And what we can learn from his ano bang matututunan natin? Comment on the chat box, ano yung natutunan nyo, ano yung insight nyo kung bakit bumili si Warren Buffett and what we can learn from here at this point. No? What I can learn from here is as he revealed this investment in Citigroup goes to show that when great investors make investment, they do not take economic predictions. No, they're not looking at economic prediction. They don't care if it's bear market. They don't care if market will crash. They don't care the market forecast into their account. if you notice, in general, banks are very cyclical, and banks in general has a very very competitive sector, no? And kung titingnan mo in terms of wide economic moat, halos magkakapareho sila. And since they are cyclical, they're usually being hit during the cycle and during recession. And why is it Warren Buffett is buying more? With more and more expert predicting a recession soon, Warren Buffett doesn't give any care. Sabi nga nung mentor, any shit. That and sabi ng mentor ko dyan, it doesn't care about it. It doesn't care about any shit, no? Sabi ko, nagmura pa siya. And makes a huge investment in banks like Citigroup. So, sabi ng mentor ko dito, he's been doing the same and adding Singapore shares like this as long as, okay, he was doing the same like Singapore banks. Binili ng isa kong mentor sa US is also being a Singaporean as a long-term investor, has a portfolio of 100 million, 150 million, and even up to this date, he's been buying more. And one of his strategy is to reallocate 10% each time he has a income and allocate it over the years. No? Lalo na pag may ganito opportunity. As long as the business is not affected and the business is undervalued, we just buy it. And that is simple. If you notice, Warren Buffett, no, has a very, very huge upside this year. And their earnings are very, very huge this year. And one reporter asked what their secret is. And sabi ni Warren Buffett, no, honestly, we don't, what is your secret? Why have been, like, lagi mo nasatandaan na kailan ka bibili at kailan ka magbebenta. Sinabi niya, kasama niya yung, ano niya, kasama niya yung sidekick niya, no? Sabi niya, honestly kami, we've been over the years, honestly, wala naman kaming secret eh. Hindi naman namin, it's always about, we keep on buying more and what's the strategy and it's our timing. And actually, hindi naman daw nila yon sinasadya. It's really just, a part of it is luck and their goal and always sticking with their plan. And we don't, if you are a long-term investor watching right now and you have a port which is super red, as long as the stocks that you're holding is part of this picture, as part of this, okay, dito lahat yan, ang malalaking market cap and it's wide economic moat, huwag kang matakot sa economic recession, huwag kang matakot sa market prediction. Kung magkaroon ng recession, then add more. Then add more. As long as the business of these sectors are not affected and they're not even filing bankruptcy, keep on buying more until your allocation has been fulfilled. No? Doon papasok yung risk management na may maximum ka lang na dapat bilhin. And that's why he coined this strategy na buy when people are fearful and you must sell and people are very greedy. And that's where you buy when they're bear market, and sell if the stocks are actually overbought or overvalued during the bull market. Okay? And technical analysis is actually just one part. And as traders naman, of course, as traders, right now, if I'm gonna wear the hat of a trader right now, what I can learn from Warren Buffett, as long as he sticks with his plan, and his plan is still intact, and his plan is confident with his plan, he will enter a stock with full confidence, with right proper diversification, which is his rules as part of his risk management, and wag ipilit kung hindi part sa plan. Wag ipilit kung hindi part sa plan. Wag din ipilit if the market is not giving his trade bias and cut loss when necessary. Because as trader, your goal is to protect your capital because you're gonna go in and out. As long-term investor, is you're gonna put it there, sit in tight until it recovered. Because again, this business has been soundly profiting year by year, and market is pricing them a very discounted price. So the different perspective, different approach. Nothing fits all. But the point is, what is your goal? What is your main objective? What is what you're gonna do? And buying this one, are you really going for long-term investment or are you gonna just go trade? What is your goal? And as you keep on doing your plans, month by month, day by day, year by year. Okay? And maging habit mo siya. Yung attachment mo to money, will actually go fade. You're just gonna look into the percentage na lang. No? Because if you are confident what you're doing, then no need to doubt. Confident ka nga eh. No? The least of your enemies is yourself, which is you need to be confident if you know what you're doing. If hindi mo alam yung ginagawa mo, then you need to seek a professional advice or a community or a friend who knows and who's been there, no, during bear market, during bull market, and may teach you. Even ako, I've been teaching students as well in the past 3 years already. I've done one-on-one sessions. I've done a class to room type, and even up to today, I'm still teaching. But I'm also consulting different mentors here in the Philippines, not just here in the Philippines, but also in the US, because it's a computer, it's a continual process. Eh, no? You need to be reminded. The market is the boss. The market is the one dictating the price, and someone must remind you that your goal is this, your plan is this. If your plan is this, then you are confident at that. Then konting adjustment na lang, no? And that's what you need to do. And that's what we can learn from Warren Buffett. He's taking on this despite the very, very brink of a bear market status tonight. And we in the following weeks, just keep on buying $3 billion, $3 billion worth of stock. $3 billion worth of stock. Magkano ba ang Citigroup sa magkano ba ang Citi sa market cap? Imagine mo, tingnan mo ha. Citigroup. Okay? Citigroup price and market capitalization is 102 billion. And Warren Buffett is buying at least 3% of the total market cap. Laki nun ha. Binili yung 3% of the total market cap for a very blue chip and a wide cap. And that's where the price actually jump off, no? Kung papansinin nyo. So, kung bumili siya nung May 18 is this. Okay, is here. Most likely, yan din yung average niya, right? This one. Oh, May 18 is this one. So, ay ma-average yung Warren Buffett dito. Kung mag-pullback ba yan at pumunta sa major support, which is this one, o di mas magaling ka pa kay Warren Buffett kasi mas nabili mo siya mas mura. And let's check at what Morningstar is trying to say when it comes to the fair value of CT on an initial glance. Let's check it out, no? And ano ba nakita ni Warren Buffett kay Citigroup, no? I'm not saying you buy Citigroup, but I'm saying the facts that Warren Buffett is buying it, no? As a long-term investor. And titingnan natin technically kung may nakita. Kasi wala naman silang, I think, meron naman silang technicals. Okay? Citigroup is actually 32% discount. Look at this. Walang wide economic moat. And he's buying it. Just part of it is diversification. Diba? Is buying it. No? Imagine mo ha. JP Morgan can beat Citigroup. Bank of America can beat Citigroup. Even Wells Fargo can even beat Citigroup. But why is it Warren Buffett is buying it? Because he has a strategy intact and he knows what he's doing, right? He knows everything about the company initially, and that's the reason why he's buying. I'm not saying you buy this one, I'm not saying you buy this one, but I want you to get the gist. I want you to get the lesson behind it and what they're doing as well. Okay, all right. So if we're gonna check the income statement, walang pinapakita si Morningstar as well. Tingnan natin in terms of the other. Let me check while we're waiting for this. Let me check here. Okay, Tesla buy at lows buy. Good evening, KC. Uy, pakiramdam ka. Makikita ba tayo here sa bull? Let me know. Warren Buffett still have faith in traditional currencies, even though crypto is becoming more popular. Honestly, these people, yes, it's becoming more popular, but it's still speculative, right? So because stock market like asset are tangible. May nakikita ang negosyo eh, no? And the cryptocurrency is just an idea for alternative like alternative currency that can take in place, no? If a certain currency will be like what's happening in Russia, right? So but stocks, no, has tangible assets. This insight is more extreme long term talaga, di ba? Pero this insight is more on extreme long-term talaga. Good evening, Prof. Michael and Sean. Ika nga long-term waiting means big boys return. Yes, honestly, yun din yun eh. So dapat, actually the lesson here, one of the lesson here as well is, what's really your goal? Example, case in point. I have a current student who lost, I'm not gonna share her name, of course, no, who lost 1.4 million and is still paper loss. 1.4 million talo niya recently. And di niya, the thing is, nahihirapan siya what to do. Because he all in to crypto. I'm not sure kung anong portfolio sa crypto, but everything went to crypto. 1.4 million. Totally lost. I'm not sure kung na paper loss ba yun or margin call na siya. But because he all in to this idea and he was paper loss or possible margin call, she doesn't know what to do. Okay? But why is it big investors like Warren Buffett, despite a big correction, they're buying? They're buying 3% of the stake of the whole company. They're adding shares up to this point, despite 3 billion na, $3 billion. So, the difference is, una, 3 billion for Warren Buffett on his total, tingnan natin ng BRK. BRK, sabihin natin, BRKB. Tingnan mo Sabihin natin ito yung pera ni Warren Buffett, almost close to 3 trillion. 3 billion is like what? 0.005? So, 3 billion like sabihin natin, no? 3 divided by 600 times 100. So Warren Buffett is buying Citigroup of an exposure rate of 6.5%, tapang 1%. If Citigroup will fall and file bankruptcy, Warren Buffett only lost 0.5 of his portfolio. But look at the amount, it's $3 billion. But the exposure is what? Wala pang 1%. And that's what additional learning that we can learn from here. No, if we actually like Warren Buffett, that despite this one exposure, kahit pangit yung market, keep on buying. But he knows how to expose his money. Sabihin natin total na pera ni Warren Buffett is around 680 billion. Okay, and yun yung risk management na ginagawa nila. Yun yung risk management ginagawa. Meron silang rules as a long-term investor, as a trader. Long-term investor has his own rules. Buy only this one, buy this one at an exposure of this one, and keep on buying if we actually earn more. As a trader, buy, cut loss. Take profit. Buy, cut loss, take profit. Buy, when. So may rules sila. But what I also learned from my student who actually has like anxiety right now because of a 1.4 million na paper loss or margin call, because initially she actually bought this investment because he was nakita lang niya yung potential return, but the risk hindi niya nakita, and unfortunately tinamaan siya ng bear market din ng crypto. So the difference there is dapat in the first place, before you expose a lot of money, you really need to know what you're doing. Diba? And yun na natutunan ko kay Warren Buffett. Bumibili siya, but nakita mo yung exposure, wala pang 1%. Diba? Wala pang 1%. And that's the way you handle risk. And what you can actually expose a lot of risk if okay, meron kang rules. Example, I'm just gonna teach you one that I'm actually, what I'm doing. I will only expose to blue chip companies up to 10% of my portfolio. Maximum. High risk na yan. But if play safe lang, dapat 5% lang. Yung pera ko lahat Example, if I'm gonna buy Facebook, dapat allocation ko lang dyan is 5 to 6% maximum. Or pinakamalaki na dyan is 8% to 10%. Example, Alibaba, nag-expose ako ng mga 8 to 9% dyan because I want to be aggressive. But I know what I'm doing and I know what the risk involved. If I'm gonna buy crypto, if I'm gonna buy a penny stock, I will only expose 1% to 2% maximum. Because Out of the 4,000 stocks, how would you know that the stock will actually about to fly? Especially speculative investing yun. Na hindi mo alam yung company's potential, company's earning, kasi nga speculation. If that filed a bankruptcy, yung pera mo 1% lang. And one of my mentors told me that if you practice this one as early as now, kahit maliit pa yung pera mo, you will actually prepare to handle large or huge money. Kahit 100,000 lang yan, tapos 100% yung company nilagay mo, 1%, sabi mo, sayang. Sana nilagyan ko ng more. Eh, kung nilagay mo 100, nasa pera mo, sabi natin, 50 million na. Nag-expose ka dyan ng 10 million, nagkamali ka. Talo ka ng 5 million. Iba yung picture, iba yung usapan na yun. But, on the other way around, if nag-negative 100% lang yun, natalo ka lang ng 1,000, hindi masakit, nakakatulog ka. And I think that's what Warren Buffett is doing. His investment is he knows what his exposure rate, he knows what he's doing, and he knows how to expose based on their rules, based on their objective of his investment. Okay? And can I share type number 8 if you want me to share a insight how this strategy naman of Ray Dalio and what I teach in my masterclass. Tutulong sa inyo yan. Bonus. Sige, about long-term investing. And also, pwede na mag-share about trading as well. Yan, sige. Type number 8 if you gusto nyo to. Yan, okay. This is what I teach as well. And this is one part of my teaching. And I learned this from Ray Dalio. Okay? So, let me just pull it out. And there you go. Okay. This one part of my slide wherein this is a study by Ray Dalio. Okay, objective tayo dito. And it's part of my long-term investing. Okay, here you go. My style and one of my mentor taught me that if you want to invest into something, you need to understand what you're doing. So, my question to him when I was teaching was, how can I understand what I'm doing? Okay, binalik ko sa kanya tanong. Tawa siya. Sabi niya, oo nga naman. So, how will I know? So, that's why I got you as my mentor because you will teach me. Okay, start with, okay, di ba trader ka? Sabi niya, di ba trader? Yes. And then you want to learn long-term investing? Yes. Okay, so where will I start? Okay, una, dapat, alam mo, tatlo lang, sabi niya sa akin. You must know what company to buy. You must know how many shares to buy. You must know when to sell. Okay? And you must know, apat pala, you must know why you're buying it. Sabi niya, okay. Sige, teach na, what? Okay, check. Dapat ito, checklist mo. Okay, this person has a $200 million port and is showing us every month. Okay. Okay, number 2. Sabi niya, when to buy. Okay, you know technical analysis, I won't teach you. But just buy it according to fair value, according to intrinsic value. Then you buy it on technical basis. Support basis, kung mabababa siya. How many? Dapat meron kang ganitong exposure, maximum, at this one, mababakpak. Okay, so ilang stocks? Kung gagawa ko ng, if example, I have a 200,000 pesos as a start and I will keep on growing it year by year from my income. Paano ko siya i-allocate? Okay, sige, eto na. Pinadaya sa akin to. Okay, sabi ni Ray Dalio, if you know Ray Dalio, is one of the modern financial expert. Financial expert. He says that if you want to have a holy grail investment and what they call if you want to start long-term investing and you're buying an index, if you want to select kasi madali lang yan. If you want to beat the market, then buy SPX 500. If you want to exposure, buy the whole index para tapos na buhay mo. Pero if you want to beat the market, okay, if you want to beat the market through practice right now, and if you want to try to beat the market year by year, you need to start now. So where you can start is from this study. So a study ni Ray Dalio, his portfolio is called All Season. And this all season portfolio was based from his current investment that whatever happens to the market is may makukuha ka and your drawdown will be controlled. Why? Because you are diversified in different uncorrelated streams. Meaning, if one will up, one will go down. One will go down, one will go up. Okay. Sabi niya, in any investment, even in business, you must expose something. Example, you're gonna make a business or you're gonna make a stock portfolio. That this investment must be in 15 uncorrelated streams. It may be different sector, it may be different type of stream incomes like stocks, bonds, money market, real estate. So dapat din-spread out mo to. Once you spread it out, example, case in point, stock market, ito dapat gawin mo. They based on a study that if you want to probability of losing your money lesser, you need to spread it out in different sector. How much? You need to start when it actually go to the 15 uncorrelated streams. Then you're actually correlating it that your return to risk ratio is actually 1.25. Mean to say that yung mas mataas yung profit mo versus the risk. And your probability of losing money can go down to 11%. But if you keep on buying mo, like example, 20, mas bumababa pa siya. Kung papansin mo, 15, example, 15, if you're gonna start with 15, nasa 20% most likely ang pwede kang mag-draw down. If i-increase mo siya up to 24 to 30, then tapos different siya na sector, then dun ka magkakaroon ng diversification, sabi niya. So, when you actually make a diversification, of course, this year, example, case in point this year, anong worst performing sector this year? Technology. Kung marami kang exposure sa technology, sobrang negative ng port mo. But if you have exposure to energy, okay, you have exposure to energy, then magbabalance yung port mo. Diba? Ikaw magde-decide yan. Ikaw yung nag-invest. Diba? Okay. Now, if you don't have exposure to banks, then lalong babagsak yung port mo. Kasi and if you don't have exposure to which is what's performing this year, talagang magpe-perform. Kung wala kang commodities, babagsak port mo. But if may commodities ka, angat. So dapat mamimili ka anong klaseng risk direction yung gusto mo. The more risk you make, the more potential probability of losing it, but can be more potential returns based on data. So additional to that is this one. Sabi niya, sabi ng isa ko naman mentor, if you want to beat the index, check the 15 years of performance. So, case in point din, no? Sabi ko nga kanina na if wala kang technology ngayon, tapos marami kang energy, then good ka. But looking at the 15-year area, if you keep on buying technology up to this year, in the past 15 years, you're still gaining. Kasi it's beating the market. Technology is beating the market. Consumer discretionary is beating the market. Healthcare is beating the market. But energy is less cyclical. Flat siya. So, dun minsan papasok experience mo na. Ko, 'di ba? Yung inventor ko sa US, wala naman yung energy. Bagsak talaga siya. Kasi I keep on buying in this top 3. Itong nandito lang 4, no? And dito lang siya nang expose masyado. So bagsak talaga din siya ngayon, mga 25 to 25%, no? So, malaki na drawdown. But confident siya because if I'm gonna hold these stocks for the next 15 to 20 years, then I'm sure, okay, I will make more money than rest of you. Yung sabi niya, di ba? Okay? O, di ba? But, perspective rin value, if you want to not losing money year by year but average ka lang, expose ka sa lahat. Kasi if one will go down, one will go up. So the point there is it's really basic, it's really up to you. Kailangan gumawa ka ng sarili mong plano and dapat pag may plano ka, confident ka doon. Okay? So last but not the least, of course, tapos na tayo doon. What we can learn from Warren Buffett, if you're a long-term investor watching this, stick to your plan. Confident with your plan. You must know what you're doing. Especially what you're investing is man. Example, for those who are watching with Izanagi, dapat hindi ka all in kay Izanagi. I'm not encouraging you guys to all in for Izanagi because Izanagi is earning right now. Mali yun. So that's why sinasabi na, example, meron akong mga investors na, sir, ayoko muna mag-Valkyrie kasi performing Izanagi, lipat ko muna kay Izanagi. Honestly, sinabihan ko, sabi ko, mali yun. Kasi if Izanagi will fail, you or us, ubus pera mo. Kasi hindi ka naka-diversify. Diba? So, dapat meron ka lang portfolio na nakafocus kay Izanagi na ito lang amount. Para if Izanagi fails, we'll never know, no? And hindi ka nag-take profit dyan at nilipat somewhere else. Diba? It will really have a very huge impact to you. So, despite Izanagi is performing very, very good this year or last year, I'm not all in to Izanagi. Even closing one of my accounts to Izanagi this year because of not because of a very very volatile market and put it somewhere safe. So even ako na very believe ako kay Izanagi and highly monitored. Nagtanggal pa ako ng isang portfolio at nilipat ko somewhere safe. Because I know Forex in general is a very high risk investment, and right now is a very very volatile year, and my total money is actually overexposed to Forex. So I need to take in that and put it somewhere else or put it just on cash. No, and if saan yung mga ano. So kailangan talaga ikaw na sulat na plano mo. Magkano ba i-allocate mo kay Izanagi? Magkano i-allocate mo Philippine Stock Exchange, US market? So put all your money in just one basket because it's performing this year. Kasi magkamali ka naman ng isang taon, sayang naman pinaghirapan mo. 'Di ba? So, 1 to 100 if you like that topic. I really was refreshed to the topic that don't care if the market will go recession because we are reminded that we know what we are doing. We are reminded that the company that we are buying is very very intact and fundamentally good on my long-term port. And I know for a fact that example, I'm exposing also some of my Bitcoin, some of those stocks. If that fails, that's only a few percentage of my portfolio. So let's get to it. So I've been talking for matagal na. Nauupo na yung market. Pasensya na. Okay. Bilisan na natin to. Okay, una na. Balik na tayo sa SPX 500. SPX 500 went green on the opening. Let's check out the candlesticks on a zoom in perspective. Parate naman ako if you like the topic. Naman, hindi na ako mag-share ng mga masterclass contents ko. Hindi nyo na-rate. 1 to 100 naman dyan. Okay? Sana Tingnan natin ang market in terms of technical analysis in general. Okay, on the upside, zoom out perspective. Of course, zoom out perspective right now. The market is still trading on a lower channel. Ano ibig sabihin ng lower channel, guys? Nasa support. Nasa support despite na correction siya. Number 2, the market, okay, is holding on a specific support just like this one. Okay, ready to kick in on the upside. But the market is at the brink of a bear market territory because if it's close on a 20% from the top, the sentiment will change. Another insight there, the market is actually at the 382 level on a major Fibonacci, meaning to say that the market is still 38% from still correction on a 38% retracement. So malakas pa on an average, market is still on a corrective period. Okay? And last but not the least, in terms of momentum indicators, I can see that if I'm gonna review this one, the AD line, the advanced decline line, the market right now is pushing more stocks up than that stocks going down. And as mentioned, that our Monday natin, nagkakaroon ng divergence. The price is going down but there are stocks who are actually advancing. Ito ibig sabihin ng blue line na yan, AD line, advanced decline line. Mas maraming stocks na umaangat recently kahit yung presyo pababa. Mas maraming stocks na umaangat kahit yung presyo pababa. So yun ibig sabihin nito, and that's good news because if you understand divergence, it means that is a opposite correlation, opposite price action and an indicator. Meaning, one insight there is possible may nagmamanipulate na lang. Okay, last but not the least, or nagbebenta is konti na lang sila by number. Okay, and last but not the least as well, the market stopped the momentum of selling in terms of the what do you call this, the angle of its trend trajectory. So yeah, that's one insight there. So I think if this volume will go down as the price, okay, as the price sideways, that means accumulation, no? Little price movement with low volume means accumulation. Okay, and that's what the market is doing. And the reason why it's actually doing that way because may announcement ka ng GDP report tomorrow. So I think the market is just waiting for that announcement to happen. I don't know if what will happen, but from the previous quarter, it was negative. Negative because of a lot of the trade. Negative yung trade, but the business, the economy is doing good. Yung trade lang nag-negative ng how many billions. Kasi nga may mga naipit daw sa California ng mga ship because of the lockdown. So it was add up to that data kaya negative yung result. So, but the other parts of the economy in US is actually good when it comes to the business, when it comes to the effect on the commodity. So, lahat good. So, if it will still on a negative, possible, the market will be rated as recession. So, we're not yet there. We're not yet there, so we need to be objective. It's still on support. The probability of putting long position is still high probability than going bear market or than going on a short correction. Okay, that's one. How about the Nasdaq? Nasdaq actually same. It's holding a very strong support on a 618 Fibonacci retracement also. And same advanced a lot of stocks are eto nasa bear market na kasi si Nasdaq, no? And a lot of stocks are advancing and the price is actually sideways. So meron talagang divergence. And your RSI is also doing a trailing divergence. Means to say that a bit of catalyst can push it up very, very fast. Okay, pag may mga ganyang catalyst, may mga ganitong trailing divergence, usually nangyayari dyan is what? Based on experiences, it's well gonna go this like that, tapos bilang aangat ng trajectory. So, mismo ganyan. So, most like the market will push, then pack. May ganun yung mangyayari usually sa ganyan. Okay? So, that's why, as a trader right now, hindi mo na ako nag-trade. Ang ginawa ko ngayon, more into, hindi ako yung trader, mga trading ko, na example, like index ako ngayon. I put like a certain money, then bumili ako long position, SPX, Bitcoin, and US 100 in a lot size. Tapos kinlose ko yung account kasi mas malaki yung upside. Ang ginawa ko na lang is dapat lot size ko maliit lang para pag bumagsak yan, hindi kagad masunog. So, meron akong certain level na dapat bumagsak siya para mag-margin call. So, nilayuan ko by exposing a smaller lot size para hindi masyadong greedy. Okay? Because we cannot tell where the market is heading. Okay, let's go to the chat box to 1,000%. Thank you so much. XRP, mag-IPO. Wow, let's check that one, Sir Joe. That's a good insight as well. Thank you for sharing. Lira, thank you. 100, 100. Ho, bakit po ayaw maka-withdraw ngayon sa eToro? Really? Totoo? Okay, hindi ko alam. Patay. Kung hindi ako maka-withdraw, kaka-deposit ko lang. Baka check mo, meron silang help area nung nakasulat bakit ayaw mag-withdraw. Can you also check it up? Okay, alright. Let's check out the green market, the green stocks tonight. Okay, let's check at ito, gusto ko to. Tingnan natin sa XRP kung may jump in sa price. Kung mag-IPO sa XRP, actually, kung 'di ba ang XRP guys is more into utilities. So sabi ko nga, if you treat utilities, medyo sideways yan. Hindi masyadong nagtitrend. Okay, so on a weekly chart, meron tayong nakitang divergence. Okay, may kita tayong divergence pero one indicator lang. Okay, then support-wise, okay, it's trading on the support level. It's trading on a support as well on the RSI. Most likely as well in terms of this, medyo mahina-hina na mahihirapan to kasi trading below major Fibo na no? And if you notice as well here and there, okay, medyo ayan, nasa support range nga talaga siya. On a daily chart for XRP, it's actually what we need to do here is really wait for the breakout. If the breakout happens and it's trade above your moving average 20, we are expecting a possible reversal. So, if we get a possible trading reversal, but do not just get it if it's gonna break out because ang daming resistance. Okay, if it's gonna trade or retrace on the moving average 20, we can expect a change of direction. So for now, it's waiting mode. It's waiting mode for XRP as well. I have XRP, but only 1 to 2% of my total portfolio. All right, so let's check at Snapchat. Okay, Snapchat. Yan. Snapchat. Snapchat was down, I think 20% ata to nung binagsak on the opening. Oh, laki, no? On a 36%, 36%. Let's check at the bounce trade from here. All right, if it's trading on a very huge support, then we can place a long position. Tingnan natin, ha. Okay. Okay, very good because it's actually showing a divergence on my stochastics. Okay, but need to confirm on the RSI to make it very, very strong. In terms of support and resistance, it is actually on a demand zone, but it's actually mas malakas pa sana dito. But okay naman in terms of the resistance. On a weekly chart, on a daily chart is, tingnan natin here, there was also a divergence but not that strong if we're gonna calculate this divergence here. Okay, but it's not that strong. But okay pa rin naman to do a bounce rate. Let's check at the Tibo here. Alright. So for me, dalawa na lang natin para sure. Ayan. Okay, for me, if you're gonna go for a bounce trade here, my suggestion here is you can buy now, but have a tight cut loss. Because for me, a strong support for this one is this range. Itong range ito. Yan, itong range ito yung malakas na support nito. So ngayon, more into my recommendation is really more into just kasi counter trend ka dito no. If you're gonna buy it now, dapat very tight cut loss ka. Okay? Or mag support siya ulit dito. If it's gonna do that again, then pwede itong bilhin. But if you're gonna buy now, tight cut loss ka lang. Mean to say, if you're gonna buy down, dapat hanggang 10% out ka na. Because a very strong support will for me is this one, coming from my major support plus the Fibonacci 618s, no, in general. So ngayon, high low lang yan. But another perspective, it's gonna play around here in the next few days, play around dyan, sideways yan. Okay, tapos maghihintay yan sa daily. Maghihintay ito sa daily. Pwede natin yung i-trade ng todo. Ngayon kasi purely extreme bearish siya eh. So we don't want to get this one, but we can day trade. Specifically like Snapchat. Trade, for me, this is only for day trading. Don't hold it too long kasi baka ibagsak ulit dito na point. Pag binagsak yan dyan sa support level, the another 18% risk from the current price. And for me, the another major support, which is a very strong support, is 39% further below that one. Okay, and there's a reason kung bakit siya bumagsak eh. May rason 'yan, no? Because tingnan natin what's sinasabi ni Snapchat dito. Tingnan natin Okay, Snapchat class A. All right, Snap A. 74% discount with a fair value of 49. The last closed was 12.5. So 74% discount. So very, very huge discount. Very, very huge discount. But let's see the current earnings. Yeah, and that's the reason why. Because in the past 3 years, it's having a very, very increasing revenue, but it's just starting to profit. Hindi pa nga kumikita eh. The net income is still declined. The net income is still there. The company has a very, very huge expenses as of the moment. And then on initial glance on the cash flow in the past 3 years, no, it started to build up pa siya. So it was really push for whatever means, kung anong push nito. But it's okay to expose for this type of because that's 76% from original value, the discount. But in the likes of this type of company, I would not expose a very, very large exposure. So, hindi masyadong malaking exposure because to initial glance, it does not have economic moat. tama ito, communication sector. Okay, mas malakas pa sa kanya si Google, si Facebook, okay, which is more stable and more attractive. Okay, more attractive. 'Di ba? Oh, I mean, ayun, no? Ibabangga mo sa mga mas giant na to. Kahit nagpo-provide na malaking discount yan. Pag nagkaroon ng recession, mas mabubuhay tong dalawa. Kasi this company has been performing year by year. Net profit and net profit. Oh, balik natin. No? Sabi natin. Balik natin kay Nasdaq. So that's what I want to, that's what the insight there. So, yung competition niya, if we're gonna babanggain natin sa communication sector, very attractive at 20% difference na discount sa kanya. So, isa yan. Okay? This is Morningstar. We have meron pa tayo mas complicated na computation, which is an intrinsic value of this. But we are giving this for free to our elite members. Ito, you can open the Morningstar Premium, and this is around what cost? Mga 2,000 to 2,500. They were giving free credentials to check if you're a long-term investor, if you're subscribing to our elite club already, no? Okay? So, that's my insight there. Kung magkaroon ng pure recession, of course, mas bibili nitong dalawa. Kasi tama, main difference, ibabangga mo sila. So, kung mag-expose ka na lang sa communication sector at ganito yung problema ng long-term investor perspective, syempre, eto na lang kasi wide economic mode. Mas mahirap sila pasukin, no? But since pwede pa rin naman mag-expose ka na, then your decision. Okay? I think meron din ako Snapchat. So, baka i-trade ko yan. Net. Tingnan natin si Net. Si Net. Let's check out Net. What's happening with Net? Okay. Alright. Si Net is actually also showing a divergence. You just need to clear it out. Kailangan lang i-clear ni Net to or create a weekly green candle. But if that happens, meaning this divergence is very strong. So honestly, lahat for me ngayon, it's really just a push down to things, no? Okay, may mga divergence. But the problem with Net when it actually bounced was actually breakdown from the support. Ang ganda ng ginawa ni Net because of this pin bar candle. Ang ganda ng ginawa niya. Okay, but because last week, it was pushed down below and trade below this level, malakas pa din talaga yung sellers. Tama kahit ako bibili ako niyan eh. Itong ganito itsura. Bibili ako niyan eh. Kasi bakit? Tingnan mo. For Net. This one, within the week. But bibili ako on a trading perspective. Pero hindi ko I'm not sure kasi with this company, fundamentally, hindi ko memorize fundamentals niyan. But if it's trading above this range, maybe, I will hold more. But since it closed below it already, the major support can be here already on a weekly perspective. No? Maganda yung ginawa niya eh. Now, on a daily perspective as well, it does actually creating a divergence and trading above RSI 30, which is mean to say that if this will sustain or this will break out or reverse, malakas yan. Same picture ko sa index to that iangat yan, yung RSI, then ibabagsak, tapos ito si swing. The price can be swing, then boom. Usually, ganyan yan, no? Yan. Sa School of Trade, may ganyang setup eh. Let me share it. Saan yun? Saan ko ba nilagay yun? 2022 Masterclass. Eto. Lagay nyo to. Screenshot nyo to. Lalo yung mga downtrend tapos swing trading yung gusto mo. Ito, bigay ko sa inyo to. Saan yung School of Trade natin? School of Trade 2022, no? 2022. Ayan. Tingnan natin sa pictures. And then this one. Ayan. Ayan. Usually, pag mga ganito, tapos super downtrend, kasi syempre, gusto ng market or mga manipulators is i-margin call ka. Diba? So, usually, ang psychology nito is once it hit to resistance and created the support, magbabounce yan. And if it's a base form like this, it can do a reversal. So, it's like doing a double bottom. But if you actually catch the double bottom, if you're gonna zoom it out further, kala mo may binibuild up na support, then i-break down ka. So, yun yung ginagawa nila as manipulators. No? Support, bounce, dead cat bounce, kala mo dead cat, tapos magkakaroon ng support, then sideways ulit, tapos magkakaroon ng support here, then ito. So, you can screenshot this one. Which is a good price action price action setup, no, as well. So so I think that's what's gonna happen as well here, because the RSI and some indicators are saying that it's completely going divergence. But pag on a contrary, pag bumagsak yan tapos nag-start mag-decline, ayun, pababa pa talaga to. Yun yung other side nito. So, still good for me. I would buy the support. I will still buy that support. Okay? On my if trading pag-uusapan. Okay, let me check the stocks right now. Nvidia. Okay, semiconductor. Ano, daming divergence na nangyayari. Oh. So, very, very good. Ano ba mga pinagbibili ko last week? Let me check yung mga pinagbibili ko. I think bumili ako ng MSFT. Yeah, I bought this one. Bumili ako. Kasi ganda ng mga discounts eh. We're really going to a long-term perspective, talagang may excite ka bumili. Kasi kahit mag bear market, bibili pa rin ako. For my long-term, ang tinitrade ko kasi as a trader, ang tinitrade ko more into Forex tsaka index ngayon. Sa stocks kasi, ngayon talaga pang position trading eh. Kahit yung mga stocks na for swing trades, medyo shallow yung mga swing eh. So, kahit nasa energy, overvalue na, tapos created ba ng mga rising wedge, pag bumagsak yan, talagang bagsak. So, nakakatakot trade ng ganun. Kaya ang ginagawa ko, it's either I don't have time to day trade, but more into the Forex market and position trade in the stocks, or swing trade na malaki yung mga swings na hinihintay, and long term. So, intrinsic value position. So, more into the long term as a trader. So, I'm down. I'm really down in terms of the paper loss. But, again, I'm confident of the buys that I'm buying because may data-driven insight yung ginagawa natin. So, pati mo, the market also is really on a mixed sentiment right now. And the best right now is really more into the position trade. For trading perspective, if there are traders who are watching here, you can still chat here or like let me know Forex. Ang Forex ko kasi hawak ngayon was CAD CHF. So I won in a long position for CAD CHF because of very strong support and oversold condition plus a very strong divergence. So naka-position ako dyan. Dami kong confluence eh. So, yan, naka-position ako dito kay CAD CHF. Because since it's risk on, I'm looking at Canadian dollar will go up and retest at this position. So, malaki-laki din yan. And because of that, I've been earning din. I'm using my shadow accounts. Ito lang yung port ko ngayon na inaano ko. So, I'm up by 56%, but I will repeat this because I think masyadong malalaki yung position sizing ko eh. Masyado malaki yung position sizing ko sa port na to. Yan. And then, ito, isa rin mga tinitrade. So, na-forex kasi mas gusto ko ngayon i-trade. Tsaka index. Yung index ko na as well. Dito ba yung index na port ko? Wala yata. Ayun. Ito. Ayan. Ayan natin dito. Not this one. Hindi siya na-align, no? Look, 97% gain, pero 71% negative lang siya. So, this is not updated. So, nag-negative siya. Nag-125 na to, Ito yung position ko right now. So, bumibili ako, $20. Ayun. So, naka-position ako kay Nasdaq at 0.30 lot size. Minsan may problema, may effects na ganito. Siguro kailangan ko to i-validate. Hindi pa siya totally na-validate siguro. So I'm holding this one. Dinilit ko yung MT4 para hindi ko tinitingnan. Type number 8, if ganun ka ba, dinidelete mo yung, ay like, pag malaki mong position, lagi mong chine-check, hindi ka mapakali. So what I'm buying is I bought SPX 500, I bought Nasdaq, right now. So it's negative $20, my open position. And ito yung recent profits ko. So when I deposited, how much did I deposit in this one? 25,000 pesos yata. So I have 25,000 pesos. Ito yung mga trades niyan. But hindi siya na gano'n, no? Ngayon. Let me check ha. I-update ko to. So yan, I'm more into the long ngayon. Kailangan ko yata itong i-register. Kasi na gano'n siya. Let me check ha. Pero profit yan eh. Alam ko profit tong... Kasi 400, ano lang to, 20,000 lang, 25,000 na siya eh. Tumita na ng 5,000 pesos. So, and also may shadow technique. So, mga recently lang to. Ayan. Okay? Alright, so next tayo. Ano ba? Dito, Snapchat. Snapchat, pwede talaga ito i-trade eh. Lulu, FBR, PFT. Let me check Alibaba. I haven't checked Alibaba for a while. Pangit naman ito. Ayan. Ayan, si Alibaba is going again on a retest. Oh. Pero tingnan mo yung ginagawa ni Alibaba when it comes to the RSI. It's giving us a very strong support range and tuloy-tuloy na divergence. Ayan. Let me check. Nasdaq trades. Where are your Nasdaq trades? Yan. Alibaba. If bumalik yan dito, bibili ako ulit. Pag nag-hold yan dito, mag-expose ako more for Alibaba. Ang nakakainis sa ginagawa ni Alibaba recently, ang nakakainis sa kanya, alam mo yun, lagi siya nag-gap up. Ayoko yung gap up eh, kasi binabalik niya. Lalong-lalo na pag nag-gap up, ayoko bumibili. Pero maraming gap, may gap pa yan sa taas eh, no? Pinaka short term. For example, bumili ka ngayon sa support na to, no? Oh, that's 100%. Short term lang yan, ha? If bumalik siya sa mean. Sana wag lang ma-delist. Yun kasi yung fear eh. For Google, maganda bang mag-position kay Google long term? Definitely yes. Kita mo si Google is giving a discount of 56% on its current value. Ang nakakatakot lang kay Google is dapat may pambili tayo dito. Okay? Kasi kung napapansin nyo si Google recently, is gusto i-fill yung mga gaps, yung mga gap up before, which is in 2021. And ito. So if that happens, dapat may pang-allocate ka. But we will never know kung babalikan niya yan eh. Yun hindi natin alam kung babalikan niya to. Okay? But on a long-term perspective, if we're gonna go to Google, mayroon pa yung by June, meron pa siyang sa stock split, diba? And usually, pag stock split, maangat yan prior the stock split itself. So, 41% discount, valuation, financial, no problem kasi I don't see any problems with the company. It's just the market is pricing them in on, tingnan mo, pataas lahat. Income statement. Meron pa nga ako in-depth yan sa Elite Club eh. So, walang problema for this one. Ayaw talaga oh. Kailangan ko to i-delete. Kailangan ko i-delete tong Nasdaq ko. Okay, if that happens, then instant 25,000 long swing, long position. Ayan. So, guys, by the way, promote lang ang konti while we're waiting here. Baka hindi nyo alam, we are doing the shadow technique trades, no, if you notice. So, tinitrade namin yung mga trades ni Izanagi, katulad nito, guys, no. Ayan. So, ang ginagawa natin, guys, kinukuha natin yung tinitrade ni Izanagi. Katulad yan. Oops, sorry to. Ayan. So, dito. Ayan. So, tinitrade natin yung mga trades ni Izanagi. Okay? Tapos, yun yung ginagawa natin. Pag nag-bounce na yung trades na yon, we have a very, very good rate. If you notice as well, kasi ang kay Izanagi na to, may halo rin kasi itong mga trade calls tsaka oil. Kaya hindi siya purely. Okay, kaya I think, no? No? Kaya hindi masyadong maganda yung stats. Pero ulitin ko, more into the profits lang ako ngayon eh. So, at least for this one, March 29, I'm up by, ano, lipat-lipat ko lang yung pera ko eh. This one. Nasa isa. So, if we're gonna do that, tapos in-improve namin, libre pa to. Okay, join na kayo, no? Join na kayo, libre pa to siya. November 17 to isang account, may laman pa to, hindi pa natatrade ulit. Ito mas mataas yung profit kasi purely Izanagi to. Yan. So, purely Izanagi trades pero manual. Shadow. So, isa yan. Join it. Join us here. Free to. We are gonna teach you the technique. We are gonna teach you where kukunin yung mga trades na yan on the Forex. If you want to trade with us, isa yan. Gagawa ko ng video Gagawa ko ng video yan. Ano siya. Alright. So for Google, right now, bumili. Actually, okay talaga to really buy Google. The only thing that we need to do, if Google will go down on this range, dapat may pambili ka pa. Okay, dapat may pambili ka. Because may mga gap na iniwan. Kaya ako din yung exposure ko kay Google hindi naka-full allocation. So, if bumalik man siya dyan, then may pambili pa ako sa kanya. So, pag bumalik siya dyan, pag bumalik siya. But on a perspective of technical analysis, nasa support na siya. Nasa support, oversold condition, and then may mga divergence tayo nakita sa daily chart. So, very good for Google pa din to go long term. Okay, what else? Check natin here. Mayroon dito. Kaya delete ko na lang to. Delete. Yan. Okay, UA. Ito. Ayan, maganda yung trade. Ay, di pala. Pangit. Okay. Alright, ito. Isa insight. Ito, sir, insight, guys. If si UA, di ba ito yung closing? Okay? Tapos, if si UA will open above this range tomorrow, bili tayo. Kasi, it means to say that if ganyan magiging performance ng UA tapos mag-open above that candle, that's a very strong swing for UA. So, magandang swing to. So, price action Okay, so ngayon, UA closed yesterday here because of market sentiment. UA open here, lower than the previous close. But the good insight here is it's actually rejecting this low here, which is a very strong support. Now, what we need to have for UA, if it's gonna open above this range, and break out above this range, possible magandang i-trade to tomorrow or tonight if UA will do that. So I think abangan na natin to. Even on a 4-hour chart, let me check. It's a very good trade as well. So maganda na to. Kung mag-hold to, tapos mag-break out dito tonight, bumili tayo. That's around 4%. Okay, magandang swing yan for UA. Aabangan ko rin to. If that swing happens, upside natin dito will be 17%. Instant. 17%. 10% on a swing. Maliit na yan 40% short term. If mag-continue yung swing ng market for UA. Maganda tong trade. Pakinggan nyo yan. Okay, maganda yung price action kasi nga on a daily chart for UA, we are seeing a very good weekly candle here. So maganda because it's actually showing a rejection from this range. So, hanggang hindi nagbe-break yan, we are good for UA. So we need to wait for that breakout here. Breakout na to. Tingnan natin kung ibigay na UA. Or set order kung above that one. Will be a good idea. Tilray. Review natin sabay-sabay. Naghihintay din ako. Ito din. Okay, look at that. It's a perfectly divergence. A perfect divergence trade. Anytime enter anytime you want. The divergence will end here. Pwede itong enteran ngayon. It's a very good divergence. Actually, basic lang yan. Okay, cut loss ka lang dito. 3% cut loss, pwede na yan. 5%. Below that support, di ba? Upside mo will be here, 18%. Pinakamalapit is 10%. Diba? 3% to 11%. Very good. Confirmation ng divergence yan, ha? Di pala. Di pala divergence. Sorry. Pareho palang pataas. Nalibat ako. Nalibat ako. Hindi divergence, sorry. Price action lang. Okay. Luna, AMAC, Cater. Hanap tayo mga... Guys, PM naman kayo, mga if meron kayong makitang mga penny stocks. Naghihintay ako ng penny stocks, wala akong makita eh. Hindi kasi ako masyadong ni-trade ng penny stocks. Pero if may makita kayo, please let me know on the chat box. Here, support. Wala tayo nakita, Aether. Latak na itong mga to eh. Ayoko nang balikan. If meron lang ulit opportunity. Wala pa. TZA, wala na akong makita. Alright, let me know in the chat box if you have any stocks that you wanted to check. We're going to end by 10:30. Last 15 minutes to go. Baka may makita din tayo. Let me put my banner here. Yan. Okay. TDOC. Yung mga bumagsak, tingnan natin ulit. TDOC, price action din. If this is gonna break out, then we can buy because TDOC is actually so holding a range of support and it's trading above this divergence na ano na. Maganda na yung price action niya. Nag-divergence, nag-hold pa sa taas. So if it is gonna break out, then we're good. So if we're gonna also do a bigger box on this, like this one, it's actually a 0.5. So if it's gonna trade above this range, then above here, then we can buy that one. So maganda to, maganda. Maganda rin yung mga nasa ilalim na eh. We just need to check the reversal, yun na lang. So we just this breakout or this support. So yun titingnan natin dyan. This one from Monrams, SBSW. Okay, then how about crypto also? Check natin if you have any crypto din as well that you're looking into. Pero sa crypto, i-entry lang ako dyan pag bumalik na bull market ng crypto. I don't want to average down or do cost averaging sa crypto. SBW, what's this? This is a non-energy precious materials. Let me check. Okay, on a weekly chart, it had a bounce on this support and this support. Then pulling the momentum, cross over this area. It is good. It's building support on that range. Let me check here on the chart. For this one, I think kailangan to mag-build up ng more support. Sabi ko na eh. Okay. Kailangan to mag-build up ng support here. Or trading above the moving average 20. So if magkaroon yan ng breakout tapos ibalik dito, tapos is starting to go up, then our buy will be here because that would be our support uptrend and a possible reversal. So, tingnan natin dito kung magkaroon to ng support build up here kasi yung possible channel or a breakout from here. So, ngayon, hindi pa siya nag-establish yung support and what it's doing, it's just a bounce and then baka ibalik pa ulit yan dito for a support build up. So, wala pa dun eh. Kung nakita mo din yung kaninang ni-release ko sa price action, no? Wala pa oh. This is resistance, so nagso-support. So baka kailangan mo ulit mag-build up dito. So wala pa. For me, observe. On a trading perspective. On a long term, I don't expose too much on energy materials. And then coming from its market cap, it's medyo mababa. Madaling pagalawin. So medyo delicate yan. What else? Macy's. Ganda rin ng bounce yung Macy's ha. Netflix. Tingnan natin si Netflix. Tingnan ko dito sa Netflix. I'm so on here. Netflix. Okay. Netflix actually showing bottoms already. I think kailangan natin bantayan na si Netflix because Netflix is showing signs of recovery. Kung mapansin nyo. After breakdown, it's holding a very strong support from this range. It's just Netflix needs to retrace more, most likely. If we're gonna do a box here, Netflix has it na nag-recover lang siya dito. It needs to break out from this. So wala pa talaga tayong. Pero because of what Netflix is doing, okay, it's actually a sign that the price may be this bottom here. If kung magkaroon yan dito, mag-hold dyan, mas better. Mas gusto ko ang gawin ni Netflix yun kasi it means to say may rejection sa price level na to. If is weekly chart natin yan, hindi wala. Hindi kalakasang support. Hirap pa siya for a weekly chart na ready. So wala. So for now, holding position tayo. Better talaga yung mga ganitong swings, kunin mo yung mga sigurado. So sigurado, I'll give you a list. Amazon, Apple, no. Microsoft, yes. Adobe, yan, yung mga yan. AMD, let's check out AMD. AMD is currently also doing a discounted range. But the problem with AMD right now, it's actually rejecting this resistance here. Nag-reject siya. So most likely baka ibalik pa ni AMD dito on this support. So ingat-ingat muna tayo kay AMD. Wala mo nang trade kay AMD. Huwag muna tayo magdagdag kay AMD. Nag-bounce lang siya recently. So we need to be careful for DMD. Ano pa ba? What else? Tingnan natin si Fear and Greed Index is still at 13, which is extreme fear, which is a good timeline to buy because each time it goes to extreme fear, okay, a lot of people are buying. So pumupunta dyan sa extreme fear, mas better na namimili. Extreme kundi. Pag every time, no, pumupunta siya sa pansin nyo, ayan, no. Okay, I'm just give you a timeline. So I'm teaching this in how to check your sentimental analysis. Okay, look at this. 2021, July. Start tayo dito. Okay, meron pa dito. Ayan. 2020, July 2021. Okay, last year. Extreme fear, umangat. Nasa 13. 13 below. Another extreme fear went nung September, umangat. Another extreme fear, umangat October 2021 hanggang nag-rally to November. And then, ibinalik ng extreme fear this period here, which is May ngayon. So, imagine mo ngayon ka bumibili, ngayon ka nagsha-shopping, okay? Ayan, di ba? Meron kang rally for how many months? No, nag-rally, bumili ka ng September, rally mo hanggang November. Di ba? Nag-extreme fear noong December, rally mo hanggang isang linggo. So, to check the sentimental analysis, look at that. It's starting to what? It's starting to go up. And if mag-breakout yan, edi yun na, the sentiment will change. The sentiment will change on a possible up to 50%, no? Up to 50% or more to the extreme gain of this. So they have a competition of computing this, but this is one way for us to check the sentiment. And one, at least data-driven insight. And we're buying based on objectivity. Hindi tayo bumibili ng walang objective, walang nakikitang data. Bakit ka bibili, 'di ba? Support, sentimental mathematical computation, 'di ba? So, isa 'yun. Yan. And yeah. What else? Ito bantayan niyo to Malapit-lapit na to. I like this. Parang gusto ko nga magposisyon na ngayon habang hinihintay yan eh. Okay, what else? Aether Crocs. Ayoko na to si Crocs. Tanggalin ko na nga yan. Let me check. It's 10:20, 10 minutes from now. We're gonna by the way, guys, we're starting to accept Izanagi applicants. Please do check this out. Okay, Izanagi has a performance of 382 right now. And may trade ba si Izanagi? Meron odd-cad lang pala. At the buy ni odd-cad. Check this out. The performance of Izanagi. Check our website, Izanagi, WIPH.com. And if you want to check what we offer sa shadow technique, it's also here on wiseinvestorph.com. Elite Club are also here. You can avail or be part of our for free sa Elite Club. We're gonna teach you how to trade at the bottom of Izanagi's trade or trend follow using our technique on Forex. And this is my performance on that. Again, shadow technique ko na account 1 and 2. Here, this is the recent that I'm actually made. Uulitin ko ulit to, but this just started at March 29. Right now, at least 1 month, I had the earnings of around 40,000 pesos. Nilagay ko is around the current equity for 700, mga $1,000. So, yeah, so yun. So I'm having that earnings for this sport. Another one that we have was my starting ko nung time na ni-launch namin to as my forward test. I think forward test mga November ko ginawa to, and forward test ko si Shadow. Forward test ko si Shadow using the same strategy but all pairs in the forex market. I put a $250 initially, then nag times 5 siya. So in just November up to March. So yeah, December, January, February, March, 4 months. Nag times 5 siya. So imagine, 50% in a month. 50% in a month ang kinikita ko based on this technique as well. And additional to that is my trend follower. So it actually add up to this profit as well. And very good. So yun nga lang, mataas yung drawdown because of the lot size na ginagamit ko, and that's what I need to adjust. But again, medyo high risk kasi yung ano ko yung aking medyo high risk yung ano ko. So may mga trades nga ako minsan one lot may one lot nga ako na mga trades na mali din. So yeah, mayroon akong mga malalaki din na lot size. Kaya that's actually had this drawdown. So I need to repeat this again. But the profit is actually there. Yun naman yung ibig sabihin doon. Okay? Okay, last. Review. So review natin. Okay, right now the market is still holding a very good support. I'm still optimistic that the market will do a very, very, very sharp swing. That's why I actually made a swing account and bought this index and even Bitcoin. I still believe that one. It's still down. Again, bumalik siya ng negative $20. Nag-up na. Up na pala siya. So, up na ulit siya ng $15. So, this one. Tatanga nga ako ba't 98% to April, Hindi naman. Weird, no? So, hindi ko sira. Ulitin ko to re-register ko ulit. It's up by $15. Bumabot to ng 125. I'm holding it. I'm gonna hold it. Let's go. Okay, then yeah, that's actually it. So, I'm very optimistic the market will bounce up to even this range. So, I'm gonna hold on to that because I was also right that the market will go down from this rate. Actually, yung itong January na yan, babagsak yan. So, I earn during Odette here in Cebu, I earn 30 to 45,000. Itong range na yan, isang bagsak, kinold ko lang, kinolose ko yung then 40,000. Kasi sabi ko nagre-retest tapos nahihirapan na siyang umangat. Sige, I'm gonna short this out. I earned 40,000 from this trade, at least mga 2 weeks, 3 weeks holding. I'm also positive that it will do the same here. Okay, if it's not, then that's it. My investment is 20,000. But if I'm right, that's 50,000 in here. Kinumpit ko na 50 to 60,000 yun sa mga pinagbibili ko. So if you want to join me on that trade, let's go. Okay, that's a good risk. Actually, I was also hoping to hold it for the rest of the year for that account. Kasi nga, because of this insight, ulitin ko lang for those who did not watch, this current first 82 days this year, the market has been one of the worst performance. Okay, it was trading a very, very grabe na correction in the first 82 days. And usually, 60% of the probability in that 15 years, the market has a very great return at the end of the year. And I want to try this out. Sabi ko, hold ko kaya hanggang end of the year. Tingnan natin magkano yung earnings ko dito, no? Kaya at the end of the year, despite the price return of the market to have a negative. But if you bought on the 83rd day and you keep holding at the end of the year, you have a very good potential return. So yun sabi ko, ito kaya, okay, sige nga, I'm gonna try this out. Risk ako 20,000 dito. Kinuha ko yung profit ko ng Izanagi sa isang account. Nilagay ko dito. Sige, I'm thinking of like swing trading it or holding it the rest of the year. And another insight again with that as well, before we end, is the Fed rate. Fed rate hike that after 6 months to a year of the Federal Reserve increasing their hikes, you have a probability of 80 to 100% that everything will go green after that one. Again, there is a data that after 6 months to a year after the Fed rate hike, 180 to 100% probability. 80 to 100% probability. 6 months, 80% probability na lahat magi-green. After a year, 12 months, lahat magi-green. 100% probability. Each time the Federal Reserve increase their rate hike. Let me check that one ha. Hanapin ko yung Federal rate hike na yun para makita nyo. Ang daming confluence ko nakikita na I'm really willing to risk that one, and I was actually very very excited to see it in this experience. So maganda yan ma-experience mo kasi mag-i-inculcate to your learnings. Let me just check it out. Here. Nasa Elite Club ko. Eto, ayan. Let me just here, let me hold it. Hanapin natin. Hanapin natin yun ha. Fed rate hike, 100% probability. Where are you? Hanapin ko ulit. Para makita ng mga audience natin, guys. Ito. Ayan. So, here. Let me just show here. Ayan. So, ito yung isa. Dalawa. First performing, and then the reason why it was down. So, the first one, they had their Fed rate hike was January, if I'm not mistaken, or March. I'm not sure. January yata. Tama. January. So, in the next 3 months, the positive has 50%. So, 3 months kung January, March, April, May. Starting this month. The next 6 months, 75% probability. The 12 months, 100% probability. So, imagine that data. Ito yung mga data na nag-increase sila ng interest rates. Ito yung mga performance ng SPX 500. So, if you buy after the 3 months na nag-date ng first hike, probability mo 50%. If you buy after 6 months from the first day ng hike nila, ng first day hike, you have a probability of 75%. If you buy after the 12 months na nag-first day hikes sila, you have 100% probability. Imagine that. Tapos nadagdagan pa nito, ewan ko na lang. So I'm so excited na i-record ko to. Itong live na to, tapos ibabangga natin, papakita natin performance here live as well. And made that video also for that experience. So I'm excited if you're gonna be with me for this. Let me know if you're gonna ride that sentiment as well. So with that, guys, I think that's it for tonight. I'm thanking you guys for being with me here live on Wise Investors PH. And my name is Dan. May the market be with you again. See you on Telegram for trade calls tomorrow onwards every Tuesday and Thursday. God bless and have a good night. Bye-bye.